Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we've got an absolutely incredible true story for you. It's all about a young inventor from Kenya whose one small idea didn't just solve a local problem, it ended up making a huge difference.
So let me just ask you something. Imagine for a second that you live somewhere where lions are just around, and they're a real threat to your family's farm. What do? I mean, seriously, how do you stop one of the most powerful predators on the entire planet?
Okay, now add this to the mix. What if you had to figure that all out when you were just 11 years old? Well, that is the exact real-life challenge that a young boy named Richard Turere was facing.
To really get this story, we've got to go to Kenya. We're right on the edge of the famous Nairobi National Park. This is where Richard grew up, and it's where his whole community was caught in a really dangerous situation.
So here's the deal. The park doesn't have any fences on one side, which means the lions could just wander right out looking for an easy meal. And that easy meal was usually the cows and goats that belonged to the local farmers. So, to protect their animals, the farmers felt they had no choice but to hunt the lions. It was this awful, repeating cycle that was bad for everyone, the people and the lions.
For Richard, this wasn't some far-off problem. Nope, it became super personal. When he was just 11, a lion killed his family's only cow. He said he just felt so bad. And even though he was just a kid, he knew right then and there that he had to do something about it. And so that's when Richard's quest really began. He became totally determined to find a way to keep the livestock safe without having to hurt the lions. So, like any good inventor, he just started trying things out.
His first idea kind of made sense. He thought, hey, everyone's afraid of fire, so lions must be too. He set up torches all around the animal pen, but it totally backfired. Instead of scaring the lions away, the fire just lit up the whole area, basically giving them perfect lighting to see all the cows. Yeah, not exactly the result he was going for.
All right, so fire was a bust. What's next? Idea number 2, a scarecrow. The plan was to trick the lions into thinking a person was standing guard all night. And believe it or not, for the first night, it actually worked. But, see, lions are really smart. By the second night, they figured out it was just a fake. And, well, more animals were lost. Richard was right back where he started. But here's the thing about Richard. He did not give up. And it was during a really simple, totally ordinary moment that he had his big aha moment. That sudden flash of genius that changes everything.
So picture this. One night, he's just walking around the cow pen with a flashlight. He's checking on the animals, and the beam of light is just moving around with him as he walks.
The next morning, he realized something incredible. That night, the night he was walking around with the flashlight, the lions didn't come anywhere near the farm. What was different?
And that's when it all clicked. Richard figured it out. Lions weren't scared of a steady fire. They weren't fooled by a scarecrow that just stood still. No, they were afraid of a moving light. Why? Because it looks like a person is on patrol, walking around and guarding the area. That was the secret.
Armed with this amazing discovery, Richard knew exactly what he had to build. He decided to create an automatic system that would look just like a person walking around with a flashlight. He called his invention Lion Lights.
And listen to this. Richard didn't have a fancy workshop or a bunch of money for parts. He was so resourceful. He used an old car battery for power, an indicator box he found from a motorcycle to make the lights flash, a switch he salvaged, and a broken flashlight. He just pieced it all together himself.
And get this, by the time he perfected his invention, this system of flashing lights that would turn on and off one after the other to scare away the lions, he was only 13 years old. Just incredible, right? So Richard's simple but brilliant invention wasn't just some cool project. It had a massive, real-world impact that truly, honestly changed everything for his community and for the lions. You can just imagine how proud his dad was. And his neighbors? They were thrilled. Richard installed his lion lights at 7 different homes in his village, and just like that, the lion attacks stopped. People were so thankful, telling him, this is exactly what we wanted. And the story just kept getting bigger. Word of his success spread like wildfire. Soon, people all over Kenya were using his lion light system, not just for lions, but even to protect their crops from animals like elephants. Just look at the amazing ripple effect that came from this one idea. It protected the farmers' animals, which is their livelihood. It saved the lions from being hunted in retaliation. Because of his amazing work, Richard earned a scholarship to one of the very best schools in Kenya. And now, he's even teaching his friends how to build the lights, creating a whole new generation of inventors. And really, this is the biggest takeaway, and it comes from Richard himself. He proved that it doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from. Your ideas, your curiosity, your determination, they can make a real, positive difference in the world.
So that leaves us with one final thought. Richard saw a problem, and he used his creativity to solve it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What problems do you see around you? And what amazing idea might you come up with to help solve them?